people who are interested in camel affairs, in camel things. So as the organizer, she introduced me in very good way. So there is no need to say something more about myself. But one thing which I usually say about myself that I really mm, I have been working with camels since last 26, 27 years, and I have many hopes from this amazing animal, and I have raised certain questions. I mean, in my presentation now, when you will go through all the presentation, through all my lectures, you will see there must be some questions will raise in your mind. I mean, I really want to raise questions. I really want to germinate questions in the mind of the people about the camel, about our future food security animal. So let we start. I will try to cover these 6 points, like the main question of the Anthropocene, yani the modern time main questions. What are the questions? What are the challenges which we are facing? Then, what is the amazing bio model, I mean, of the camel, like the adaptation to the climate change and other amazing characteristics of camel. In previous lecture, we covered this area mainly, so I will just go very superficially on this in this area. So then we have some examples, like the example of Australia. There is no input to the camels in Australia, the feral camels. They are increasing in number. Why? I mean, that is question. But some of my colleagues, scientists, they say that these camels are not, they are harming the nature, the environment, and blah, blah, blah. But if we see, I mean, the true picture in last 20, 40 years, 50 years, their number is increasing. It means they are eating. I mean, it means that the system where they are living, this system is supporting the camel. So then we have the African example, like the pastoralists in Africa, they are replacing cattle with the camels. So that is also a very, I mean, amazing story about the camel sustenance. And then, I mean, what really or actually the camel does, I mean, in the revitalization process of the ecosystem. And then I mean, this is my hope, I mean, expectation that we can use camel as a nature conservation for nature conservation parks. Like recently, I am working with a team of consultants they are working in NEOM. You might have heard the name of NEOM in Saudi Arabia. So the NEOM project has allotted a big piece of land for nature conservation, and the camel, there will be 2,000 camel will be introduced in that area, and we will see I mean, the worth of the camel, that how it works for the nature conservation or enrichment of the soil again. So this is my idea, and I'm very thankful to those people, the policymakers in NEOM. They are, I mean, taking this suggestion on board, and hopefully soon we will have the world's largest camel nature conservation park. Okay, so like the first content was the main questions of Anthropocene. I mean, the modern time main questions, my main challenges. One is the top one is the biodiversity loss. We are losing a lot of immense number of plants and animals each year. I mean, if you will Google it from the FAO list, say the FAO work, the United Nations work, other universities work, you will, I mean, you will lose your consciousness that what is happening actually. We are losing. When I was kid, I was seeing the birds in my village. I went last month. Last month, I was in my village. I could not see half of those birds again. The same is with the plants. The same is with the bushes. I mean, some are like resistant, like bushes, trees, but the grass varieties are We have lost a lot of forbs, a lot of medicinal plants, herbal forbs. I mean, many things. So that is the one of the main question. The alarming situation. Then we have the the global warming, that the temperature each year. I mean, this year, some of my friends, they visited Greece, the South Europe. They said that the temperature over there is 40 Celsius. I mean, before the people could not imagine 40 Celsius in Europe. I mean, now it is happening. Now it is even happening in Canada, in America, in Himalaya. I mean, the coldest area are turning, I mean, into oven. So that is the other big issue, the Anthropocenic time, the big challenge. So, and in the meanwhile, this global warming situation is making the livestock production system very challenging, very difficult. Especially, I mean, there is a huge mountain of stress on the livestock. I mean, for to compensate this stress, this global warming or high temperatures, we have to. I mean, as a human, we intervene and we use oil to provide cooling system. We use a lot of water to make sprinklers and spray on the animals. In return, there are very high ecological footprints for such production systems. I mean, like if you take one glass of cow milk, it means you are actually giving or returning a big ecological footprint to the environment. Like if you buy a ticket for aeroplane, they will tell you that this ticket have this ecological footprint. I mean, like carbon footprint of your ticket, your travel. The same is for the each glass of milk or each piece of meat or each egg we take. We are actually paying ecological footprints. I mean, ecological consequences are.
Professor, you are muted right now. So can you please just unmute yourself? Professor Abdul Raziq?
I don't know how it happened. It just happened by itself. Okay, sorry for
No,
that.
no, that's okay, Professor. Please go ahead.
Okay, so then there is, like I told you, there is dramatic change in the rain pattern or the precipitation pattern. The areas before they were receiving snow, now there is no snow. Sometimes there is like erratic rainfall, then there is no rain for months. So this is like very challenging condition. If you remember, yani, we saw in the last few years, we saw very, I mean, the worst flood of human history in Pakistan, in Sudan, in even in Europe, in everywhere. The fire hazards, like many things we saw. I mean, we are the witness of the climate change, and these are all consequences of climate change: global warming, the rain pattern, and even the biodiversity loss is mainly because of the global warming or the climate change. So efficiency and production system is a real challenge. We cannot produce, I mean, a glass of milk easily. We have to intervene. We have to give a lot of inputs. We have to put a lot of inputs in the system. So this efficiency challenge question is really, I mean, alarming. And if we will look in a comprehensive model, so all, if we consider all the environmental cost, all the inputs we put in the production system, so we are really, I mean, we are taking milk, meat, egg, anything at the cost of our mother earth health problem. Like our earth is dying because of our production systems. So then we have like the food. I mean, there is question. That is the question I want to raise in your mind, that if we need bulk food, more food, or we need functional food, the real food, which really works for our health, for our body, and the food which we really need. So I will try to, to tell the audience that how the camel is fit in this dream to compensate, to have lower footprints, ecological footprint, to be efficient, to use little inputs and produce more, and do not harm our environment, and to tolerate the high temperatures, tolerate the aridity, the low water intake. These questions, these challenges. So then the second point was, like, why we say camel? Why camel? Why camel? Because the camel has some characteristics, some things which the other livestock don't have. Like in previous lecture, I detailed out all the qualitative, physiological, and behavioral traits of the camel. How these traits provides the camel a strong, broad-based adaptive mechanism. They can survive in dry conditions, in desert conditions, with low water intake, low feed intake. They can walk for hours, for even in some studies. Today I was reading that the camel can walk up to 70 kilometer per day just for grazing. With joy. He can do this task. So then their unique qualitative traits, like the adaptation, and they are very intelligent. 1 month before, we did one new experiment with our camels. We put them in new track to bring them to the milking parlor, because there was some construction work. Believe me, after first, difficult time, like first time when we introduced them in this difficult track. It was little bit difficult. Then they were happily going through all this zigzag, complicated track. So they are really intelligent animal, and they have high adaptive power. You will just say, what meant by intelligent. Intelligence is very important in the livestock systems. If the animals are intelligent, they can learn the commands of the master or the owner, and they are trained very well. So there will be very least welfare issues with the animals. Our camel, if we will train them, the camel, when we train them for khatam, the head collar, they know the command to sit, to stand, to come to the parlor, to allow their babies. These are the commands which later on it put very little pressure on camel welfare issue. You don't need to treat or behave with them harshly, because they are already trained. They understand. So intelligence is very important. That was, my point. The camel anatomy is a treasure. Like the pads, the camel does not sink in the sand. Their pads does not harm the biodiversity, the plants. The camel has the diversity of fur. The hair. They have hair like goats. They have Kashmiri or very fine wool like Kashmiri goat. They have, thin curly hair on their flanks. They have coarse, dense hair on the top of the hump to protect them from the soaring heat, and so on. And so then the camel have like unique skin kidneys which recycle the urea, which extract all the moisture back from the urine, and they urinate like syrup. The unique liver, the heart, the whole system, the blood, like the camel blood, they can the blood can easily circulate in the circulation system if the moisture content is 30% less. If the camel is dehydrated, up to 30% of the body is weight is lost, even then the camel blood can easily circulate in the body, and they can survive um, this deficiency of water in their body. Uh, but the other animals, including human, they cannot tolerate up to 10% loss. So that we discussed already. I discussed in the previous lecture. A large surface area to the volume ratio, so the camel can easily maximize the heat loss from the body. So that is also very very important point. So let me go to the next. Like I told you that we have to. I mean, this is like again very big question. Yeah, if you will see, there is like very negative science or negative understanding about the camel in Australia. And there are some projects, some work. They are decreasing the number. They are killing them by shooting from the air. And there is one very appealing film. You can write the name Joda's Collar. So I mean, how they kill the animal, how these animal are, suffering. Uh, you know that the camel. Uh, I mean, if you will read something about the evolution, the human destroyed natural large herbivores of Australian subcontinent some 40 to 50,000 years before, when the human arrived there, because the local animal, the native animal, they did not know that the human are harmful. You know, the animals in Europe and Asia, they knew that the human can hunt them. So they understood. They learned. They adapted. They adapted to run from them, to fly from them. But the animals, the large herbivores in Australia, they did not know that the human will harm them. So the human practically, functionally extinct all these large herbivores. They killed all of them. So this is, I mean, the camel was reintroduced in some in 1840. Again, I mean, that this time it was again the human greed to introduce the camel into work and to use them as a working animal in the Central Australia, in the desert ecosystems. So now there are almost 1 million camels in Australia. Now the camel has the largest feral population of the world, Arabian camel, and even all camel, not only Arabian camel, all type of camel. This is the world's largest feral or wild population. So the camel are found in Australia in the desert area like Sandy, Gibson, Great Victoria, Simpson Desert in these areas. So I will continue this. Then through, unfortunately, these camels are pictured very bad and very negative. But I call this work that biased scientific work, because they try to find the negative things about the camel, that they harm the water channels, they attack on the farmers' crops, and they are a pest for the beef cattle. So blaming for the deterioration of the ecosystem. But in reality, they are only a threat to the beef cattle farmers, especially in the drought season when there is no water. So the camel have no green food. So no rains. The camel have no green feed, no lush green plants. So the water contents, they need water, because there is no water content in the dry refuges, in the dry woody vegetation which the camel consume. And then they move to the areas where the water channels are available. Actually, when the camel eat green things, they do not need water. Even they do not drink water for months, for 3 months, for 4 months, for 5 months. So they makes, the animals are threat when they make big groups, but camel, they mainly make 30. Their main groups are 30 animals, but very few reach to 500 camels. They don't make armies to attack like other animals. They do not make armies, and they do not destroy ecosystem by over density, because In Australia, you can see in the next para the approximately 1 million camels covering an area of 3.3 million square kilometer. So the density is only 0.29 camel per square kilometer area, very less number. So the camel is not greedy drinking water. They need water only. I told you, like when there is no fresh vegetation is available. So then there is I mean, why I spoke about the Australian camels. They say this is because the camel can sustain. The camel have the power of sustenance, the sustainability, because these camels have no support, no protection, no nothing, nothing. They just live in the desert, and they are increasing their number, their population, and some people say they are destroying the nature. I mean, I said, I told many friends, colleagues, yes, let me see a little bit positively to this picture. I mean, to the camels in Australia, they are there for last 50 years. I mean, why they did not destroy that ecosystem, and they are still thriving. They are increasing in number. It means that the system is supporting, the ecosystem is supporting the camels. They have things to eat. They have food to eat. So I mean, they are dispersing the seeds. They are dispersing. They are strengthening the vegetation by eating, because the camel, when they browse on plants, the plant really gets more strength against the winds, against the storms. And the other thing is that the camel
Professor, maybe one
Yes,
more
yes,
time.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I noticed.
that's
I noticed. I know
yeah,
it
that's okay.
automatically. It automatically happens. I don't know why it is happening.
No, no, that's okay. But we were enjoying your speech. Please go ahead.
Thank you, thank you. So the camel are revitalizing the soil. The soil is now more healthier than before. The other thing, in that area where there are camels, there is no incident of fire. I mean, like in other regions, you saw now the summer, in this summer, you saw that there was fire hazard in America, in California, in Canada, in Greece, in Turkey, in many countries, even in Pakistan, many countries. But where there are camel grazing, there is, because the camel cut the connection between the trees and the dry grass. So the grass are consumed. The camel can eat dry grasses. So they do not uh, leave any reason for the fire. So they are actually, I mean, uh, now in many places in California, I know they reintroduce courts in some areas to minimize the risk of the hazard of fire. So these animals are, I mean, the camel is not the problem. The camel is the solution. But I'm sadly, some people they show it, pretend it as a problem. So then we have the other good example from Africa, especially from the Horn of Africa, where the the cattle pastoralists, the nomads, they are replacing cattle with the camel, because there are now, because of the climate change, there are like concurrent droughts, no rains, no vegetation. Sometimes like there is no rain for 5, 6 months, and the cattle really need grass, because the cattle and the sheep, they can depend only on the grass varieties, not on bushes and shrubs. So after concurrent droughts, the herders in Horn of Africa are now investing in one hump camel, who because one hump camel is highly soft, and the camel can produce milk in difficult situation. If they have little food and the very high weather, very high temperature, the camel milk increase. When there is no water, when the camel does not take enough water, believe me, you can check from some research. the milk was increased because their calves, I mean the calf of the camel need more water. So the camel produce more water and more milk. So a move from cattle herding to camel keeping among the Kenyan farmers is more than an economic transition. It represents a fundamental shift in age-old customs. I mean, it is changing the customs of the pastoralist people because they were before giving the cow to their daughters in dowry during marriage. But now many people they are giving the camel. So Boran people, I mean the tribe whose culture, was the keeping cattle. Now they are keeping turning to camel. So the reason behind this shift is the camel's adaptation and resilience power. The demand for camel milk is there is more appreciation about the natural pharmacy because the many people they are convinced, they are 100% convinced that the camel milk is really amazing. So they say if we have to use milk, why not the camel milk? Because it is easily digestible. The fats are homogenized already in the milk. It has like lactoferrin, it has biomolecules, it has no problem with lactose intolerance. There are no cow allergy proteins in the camel milk. There are 1,000 things, but just, I mean, because of the shortage of time and because this is not the main focus of my lecture. So one lecture I will completely, cover the camel milk. I hope you understand it. I don't know what is the problem with this. It happens automatically. So this is then the camel have an extraordinary ability to survive for longer time because the cow can survive like up to 20 years in nature, but the camel can survive up to 50 years, and the camel can produce we call it parities. I mean, she camel can calve up to 12 times. So it is like a tree for the people. I mean, the tree. And then my point is always that I tell the people, I say in my lecture, I say, please let's come and we understand the camel better from the other angles, but we are very conservative in understanding the things. We just if we have goats, we talk about the goats. If we have cattle, we only talk about the cattle. But the camel is still hiding from the eyes of the policymakers, the researcher, the scientists. I mean, only the people who are with the camels they understand what this amazing animal is. So camel is not. This is like very main point of today lecture that the camel is not only a food security animal. Yes, it can provide you food, but it is equally uh, the best large herbivore to revitalize the ecosystems, to revitalize the soil health, because we, the human, we have destroyed almost everything which the nature treasures we had. I mean, for thousands and millions of years. We spray chemicals, pesticide on the soil. We use chemical fertilizer. We restricted the livestock to graze in the farmlands. So what happened? We now have the very least number and diversity of the microbiome in the soil. Actually, this microbiome is the creature, the nature which make our soil healthy. So also camel can be, the camel actually produce compost to as a nutrients for the soil microbiomes. Also, camel can be a very good attraction for the tourists, especially here. I mean the tour for the tourists in the conservation parks. Uh, even the listener now, the audience, many of them have traveled to Arabia, to Africa to see the camels. Anybody who travel to Arabian Peninsula, to South Asia to Central Asia to Africa. Uh, when they arrive to that country, to that place, the first picture they upload to their Facebook, Instagram, and anything, they make picture with the camels. I mean, you might have seen that. If they go even to the pyramids in Egypt, they make picture with the camel. In Patra in Jordan, in Dubai, in the UAE, in Saudi Arabia, in Pakistan, in Thar Desert, in Rajasthan, in India, the first picture which you will see they will make with the mostly with the camel. And the camel is the best bio model because now the people they are working on the camel immune system. They have found, the scientists they have found, especially in Belgium, there are many studies. They have found something amazing like the camel immunity, which can be used in viral diseases, in bacterial diseases, and many places the people, the researchers are working to make the anti-venom serum for snake bites from the camel blood. So there are like many. This is another area. One if we will manage our lecture series, we will talk about the on the camel as a biomodel for research. I mean, the camel milk is like a whole kingdom for research. The camel blood, the camel immune system, the camel skin, the camel fur. There are there is a very big horizon, a wide horizon for research in the camels. You see this picture. I think I shot in Sharjah a few years before. You know, this is like there is uh, from this picture. I knew a new window. I knew a new window of research, a new window of science opened on me. Then I went to many places in Salala, in Jigjiga, in many places, and really realized, understood the connection of the camel with the nature. You know, if these wood, you know, with the camels, they can eat the wood also. You see, the camel are still very healthy and very fresh. If they will not consume these things, this woody vegetation, that will be consumed by termites. You know, the termites produce more GHG, greenhouse gases, than any other livestock, even more than cattle. So, and also, uh, I mean, they restrict the number of the termites this way, indirectly. I mean, we need termites, but we need them in a certain level of population. So this is like then in some areas, even in Salala, I saw that there are like big mounds or big heaps of the termites. You can see from my article. There was one article about the Khawara breed in Salala. So in winter, I mean in the season where no greenery is available, the camel eats the mound of the termites heap because there are microorganisms which transfer to the camel stomach, to the camel gut, which help the camel to digest the lignin, the toughest woody vegetation. So the termites are important by itself, but their overpopulation is really a big problem to the nature health. So the main content, I said that what the camel can do to our ecosystem. Camel is a great companion animal. I mean, with the human. The scientists say that the camel was the animal who handed over himself. I mean, to the human. Yes, come, oh man, come and domesticate me. Keep me as a your livestock. I will give you the solution for your complex problems. So their feet do not harm, like I told you, the soil. And you see here is the camel herd, and behind the vegetation is very healthy, very rich soil. And camel revitalize the soil microbiome. I told you already, and revitalize the ecosystem. The camel have saliva, have some like very amazing enzymatic effect on the plants. When the camel graze, I have seen like 100 plants like fence. The plant was half outside the fence and half inside the fence. So inside the plant was not looking that healthy compared to the outside, because the outside plant was consumed by the camel. And here are mostly there are camels. Here are camels. So they were consumed by the camels, and the plant was very lush and very healthy. The you can see in this the first picture, you can see this Zygophalum catarense plant. Now the name is changed, Tetraina catarensis. So you can see, I mean, this one plant consuming by 4 camels. Uh, every day they consume this plant. It is in front of our farm. Uh, but this plant, this shrub, I see this shrub since last 10 years. It is expanding, it is occupying more land, and it comes or respond with more vigor, with more strength. So the camel role in the nature conservation, if kept in appropriate density, the camel can be a good tool in seed dispersion. Because you know why I have given here the necklace of the camel manure, the seed, the camel manure ball, because these are actually the seed balls. There are many seeds of different plants. So the camel manure is very light in weight. The wind can blow them, can roll them on the desert, and the seed reach to very far flung areas. And the camel manure is made in such a design that it should roll on the sand very easily. So this weight, this way, I mean the lightweight CMB. CMB mean the camel manure ball, rolling and flying with the winds. Like if you have seen that, the mostly the desert plants have the seed which have hair, which have wings. They can fly and reach to far places, and some are very small in in size. I mean the seed, they can easily fly with the air. So, but for many plants, the nature has I mean solved the problem. The nature has come with the response to make the camel manure ball very unique. I mean, it works like a seed ball. If some of you have worked with the conservation, with the plantation, the seed ball is very important in spreading the seed and dispersion of the plants. So diversification and so, like I told you, this is not only a seed ball, but this is the treasure of the microbiomes. Very rich, very diversified microbiome, which ultimately become the food for the microorganism in the soil and enrich and diversify the soil microbiome. Camel is like before I said, it is a tourist attraction, but here we talk about the conservation part, the nature part. Like I told in my 2 days before, I had a lecture with this NEOM project. I said the camel is like very big attraction for the people. So the camel will be in nature, it will be spreading the seed, it will be enriching the soil, it will be revitalizing the plant health, and also it will be a very good attraction. And if some of you have visited Mongolia, near Ulaanbaatar, they have made one very big horse, mammoth horse, with metal. I think iron or whatever the metal is. I really don't know. I mean, don't remember. On the top of the horse, I mean the pole. I mean between the 2 ears, they have made a platform where the people stand and they make very good photograph. So the people who reach to Mongolia, they visit Mongolia, they make picture there. I mean, that is like the must part of their tour. So I told in that lecture that we can make, I mean, in Neom, in that conservation park, a very big camel, where the tourist will make a very big picture on the top of the camel head. I mean, with this statue. And then the camel is they have like bioactive enzymes in their mouth, and this already I discussed. So I am almost to the last slide. This slide I present in all my lectures. We are like the people. I mean, we are a non-profit group of people with the name of Camel for Life International. We have, I think, I claim we are the best or the diversified, the strongest forum, advocacy forum, or you can say camel think tank. We educate camel at global level. Especially, we bring the camel on the table of the policymakers, global policymakers, international policymakers, to use this unique gift of nature and to evolve this in their policies. And we also support the research communities to work on camel things, camel milk cheese, camel browsing habits, camel production systems, camel health system, many things. I mean, are discussed in our group. We have WhatsApp group. We have almost 300 people there. Mostly they are like camel keepers, camel scientists, camel entrepreneur, activists, many people. And we also support the business people. Those we invite or we attract the business people, the investors, to invest money in camel world, mainly in camel milk. So we cooperate with the camel milk consumers. I mean, consumers are very important to provide them very good information, knowledge about the amazing properties of the camel milk. And we have like I made like one group of the south to south cooperation, like the southern countries like Africa, I mean the other South Asia, Central Asia, and we started like 2 3 research projects with the researchers. So that is like in that through this mm, uh, cooperation group, I went to Africa, to Oman, and we did really, I mean, organize work on camel. So also we support or we promote World Camel Day because this is the one day we talk. I always talk about the camel, but few people that talk about the camel this special day. And we have World Camel Day Facebook page, and we have very good website camelforall.info. You can find a lot of information about the camels and the camel aspects. And I have my personal website, arcbiodive.com. So there I share my ideas about the nature, about the conservation, about the camel, about the native livestock breeds, about the, I mean, my concerns about the health of the earth, about the nature, the losses, the biodiversity, the issues. And then I use Twitter, now X platform. There we make some time to time space and we discuss the camel things, especially we make very special space on World Camel Day. And then, I am very active on LinkedIn. I share time to time the links of our research, our publications. So you can follow me there on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And thank you very much for your patience. I spoke like maybe almost 1 hour, so I took a lot of precious time of yours. So I am very open for the question. I don't know everything, but I will certainly note your question and I will come to answer next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Abdul Raziq, for your awesome and amazing presentation. It was literally informative. You have covered a lot of things related to the importance of camels in sustaining the ecosystem. Again, thank you so much for your awesome presentation. And also, it seems to me that from our attendee, they like your presentation. From Sumaya, Ahmad, thank you so much for your nice comments. And now we will move on to the Q&A session. we'd like to ask from the audience or the attendee, can you please just, in case you have any question or any inquiry to Professor Abdul Raziq, just raise your hand, and I will ask you to, and you can go ahead and ask your question.
I am here. I am not ghost.
Yay! You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, حضورنا الكرام، شكرا جزيلا لمتابعتكم محاضرة البروفيسور عبد الرازق. كانت اليوم جدا ممتعة ومفيدة. تعرفنا انه مثلا كان بذكر موضوع التيرمايتس اللي هن النمل الابيض. النمل الابيض بينتج كمية غاز للبيئة اكثر اثناء تحليله للخشب اكثر من الجمال نفسها لما تاكلها. فهذا إشي كتير يعني تعرفنا على كتير امور حكى لنا اياها اليوم بروفيسور. لو اي حدا فيكم عنده اي سؤال او استفسار، فيك بس ترفع ايدك وان شاء الله فيك يعني تسال سؤالك. في اي سؤال او استفسار؟ Is there any question or inquiry from the attendee to Professor Abdul Raziq? Yeah, we're just if you can check the chat box, Professor, there's a lot of nice comments because today you have mentioned a lot of things related to the ecosystem. So that was literally amazing. My first time to know that the manure of the camels, they assist in spreading seeds all over the desert. That the termites, they produce more gas into the environment more than the camels themselves. So that was amazing. You have covered a lot of things today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I tried my best to put good information for the audience. I tried my best. So, though I put my lecture brief, not to take much time like last time. So we will continue, I hope, and we will cover the milk, camel milk, and then there are some other topics. Hope so. So thanks for the audience that they took keen interest in the lecture, and I'm really happy that I did something for camel.
You know, Professor, maybe because it's our first time to hear that kind of information today, so I don't think that we have a lot of questions because they're literally kind of new info. But maybe I hope in the near future we will learn more about the importance of the camels in sustaining the ecosystem. So
there is one question. There is one question by Liqa. I know Liqa. She is like the manager of camel farm in Jordan. So she asked if camel eat dry refuges is necessary water them daily. Yes, Lekha. If she is the camel is taking dry food, dry refuges, there is like only 5 to 6% moisture. Then the camel need water. I mean, the camel which you have in your farm, they really need water because they are not going outside. They are not taking anything from nature to have some moisture, to have some water contents. So if you provide only dry refuges, you must provide water, yes, daily. Yes.
Thank you, Professor, and also thank you.
There is one question from Jumana Hijazi.
Please go ahead, Jumana.
Good evening, Doctor. Thank you for the amazing presentation.
Welcome. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question about you mentioned the enzymatic of saliva. Yeah, what's the benefit for this enzyme for the plant?
Yes, you know when the camel they bite the plants, they actually like inject some stimulators. They they stimulate the plant to grow harder. I mean, usually there is research that the camels which where they are browsing on the plants or the trees. These plants and trees, they have stronger trunk, stronger stem than the other plants by the camels or by other livestock even. So they inject some stimulators. I really don't know the exact name of those enzymes, but there is really some biomolecules, some chemicals, natural chemicals in the camel saliva, which stimulate the plant to grow harder, to respond, to to revitalize its health. Like this is in front of me. We have many plants which are half are protected in protected area, half is outside. The outside part is very healthier than those which are in enclosure, which are protected, which the camel cannot reach. So, and there are some studies also.
Okay.
You can find there are studies. So it really works. They really inject some stimulants to the plants, which the plant give very good response and get stronger and take more nutrients from the soil and become very vigorous and very strong.
Yes, thank you, doctor.
Welcome.
Another question. Thank you so much. And now we have another question from Ms. Ibtisam. Please go ahead, dear.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Abdul Raziq, for this night's presentation. During your talk, you spoke about the producing of diluted milk from the camel. How can this mechanism can be explained? Or do you understand my question? That this diluted milk, how it comes from camel? Thank you.
Respected Ibtisam, I am sorry, I really did not understand very properly. If you can speak half Arabic, half English, I will understand. I mean, really, what was the question? You mean to dilute milk? What? Camel milk?
The dehydrated camel produce diluted milk. That means with
Yes, yes,
high
yes.
water
There,
content.
there
Yeah,
are,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes,
How
yes.
can we
Now,
this phenomena
there
can
are,
be explained?
yeah,
Is it
yeah, I
clear
understand.
now?
Yes, understood. There is there are some studies. I think one is Epstein study. Epstein was one scientist. He did a lot of work in Africa. There are many studies that when you dehydrate the camels, I mean, when there is less vegetation and less water is available, the camel produce more milk. Uh, but the composition is different. The camel is milk is more watery because the milk is actually produced by nature for the calves of the camels. So the calves have nothing. I mean, if there is no water, there is nothing. So the calves only depend on their mama milk, on their mother milk. So the mother milk provides nutrients and water both. So that is, really a scientific fact, and it is revealed, well established scientific fact that the camel milk dilute, is more watery when they consume less water.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ibtisam, for your question. There's also another, let's say, question from Agusti. You can find it, Professor, at the chat box that he is asking about pastoralists in Africa replacing cattle with camels. That works. You mentioned that during the presentation, but if African farmers would replace cattle with camels, make the same mistake to bring the feed to the animals instead of let the animals walk to their feed, it would be only crucial to the camels, wouldn't it? Thank you. Thank you so much, Agusti.
Auguste, I think you are right at your your place, but the camel walk towards the feet. I mean, if there is a place for grazing, for browsing, they walk. Even I said today, I read one paper that they can walk up to 70 kilometers. So this is the real beauty, the real power of the camel. This is not mistake. So, and also, camel does not eat the right of other livestock, because the camel browse on bushes, on shrubs, on trees, which are not touched by other animals, even like the Zygophyllum catarensis, the other hydrophytes, xerophytes plants, which are not consumed by the other livestock. So the camel is the real hero. I mean, they can walk uh, for longer distance to reach to the plants. They eat what the other livestock refuse, do not eat. They can go the areas where the drinking water is not available, because they don't need much water to drink. So they can stay there for months without taking water. 2 days before, I took my dinner with the Arabian friends. They are from Rub al Khali, I mean, empty quarter, the world, yani, harshest desert. He said his uncle, he walked with the camel, he lived with camel for 3 months. He did not take any food, any water. And there was no water for the camels in that area. But they both, I mean, the camel and the people, they were still happy. I mean, they lived there, there was no issue. So the camel can walk, there is no issue. You have nothing to bring feed to the camel. The camel will go to the feed. Okay.
Thank you so much, Professor. And thank you also so much, Agusti, for your question. Actually, yeah, it was literally a precious lecture, as you mentioned, Algado. Thank you so much for for your amazing presentation today. Again, we would like to ask if anyone would like to add anything or add any question to Professor Abdul Raziq, please go ahead. Regarding the attendance, we will mention that before we end our meeting. حضورنا الكرام، لو في أي حدا عنده سؤال أو استفسار فيكم تتفضلوا تعملوا unmute يعني بس ترفع إصبعتك وتعمل unmute to go ahead. في أي سؤال أو استفسار، حتى لو حابين تحكوا بالعربي، بروفيسور عبد الرازق يعني إن شاء الله رح يتعاون معنا. Is there any question? Professor, do you have any question to our attendee?
No, I have no question. I just want to thank them all. And I noticed this. There were like a lot of many participants, and they took very keen interest in my talk. And I am really thankful to them. And I will just say to follow our website, to reach to our very good articles, and give their feedback there, and share their knowledge and experience with us. That will be an addition to our camel knowledge and our camel world.
You know, Professor, we will share them through our through our WhatsApp group. Also,
Yep.
This would be a great opportunity to share more about your organization. There is a question from Dr. Algado. I guess it's your name, Minham or Manam. Algado, please go ahead, dear.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'm asking about the formulation ration of the close-up in the camel, in the close-up time. Are you putting the decad for the calcium put in mind while doing the ration for the close-up in the camels in this stage exactly? And thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you very much, Gado, Dr. Gado. We use, I'm working with the dairy camels. So we use TMR, total mix ration, with almost 18 or 19% CP, crude protein, with the TDN, total digestible nutrient, of 75%. But we use calcium as a pre-mix. We use one pre-mix. There are like minerals, including cobalt, selenium, magnesium, copper, I mean calcium as a top, and we use sodium chloride, salt purely, the salt stone. But I really we do not have any close-up program. I mean close-up, in my view, are the feed which are used for the camel for beef to introduce them or sell them in the market for beef. So we do not have any. But again, one thing which is always misunderstood, that is that when the camel eat refuges like straw, like jat, alfalfa, hashish, these things, they do not need any additional calcium because calcium is already available in those refuges, and it is slowly releasing calcium. So once you have milking camel, if they are producing more milk, like 20 liter, 25 liter, 30 liter, then their calcium increase, drain very quickly. So in that time, we provide calcium, yes, but through TMR, total mix ration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Raziq. I'm looking forward to see you at Oman. Thank you very much for all.
Welcome. I come to Oman many times, so we will meet. I hope so.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Dr. Algado, for your question and for your awesome answer, Professor Abdul Raziq. Again, we would like to ask if any of the attendees they have any question. Please raise your hand. Dr. Algado, do you have another question? Okay, so yeah, Dr. Algado, do you have any other question for Professor Abdul Raziq, sorry? اوكي again مرة تانية نشكركم حضور. إذا في حدا عنده أي سؤال قبل ما نختم محاضرتنا اليوم قبل okay, I guess that there's a question from لقاء. Is lactating camel drink water? Yeah, without walking in that day, is it causing edema in other? Professor Abdul Raziq?
I am trying to understand. This is by Lika. She has camels. She works with camels. I know her. So, Lika, I really did not understand your question. Is lactating camel drink water without walking in that day? No. There is nothing with edema. Water has nothing with edema. Edema may be because of some other issues, some other problem. But one thing, the very philosophical understanding about camel, that the camel need walk, all the time walk, because the camel is naturally, they walk 40 kilometer daily on average. So if you will tie the camel with the rope, one place, it will ultimately create problems. But the water has nothing with the edema. Edema comes when there is some problem in the udder, with some problem in the glands, some problem with the teeth, or there is contamination in the milker's hand, something that the floor is not clean, because the camel is very sensitive to the cleanliness. If the place is not neat and clean, the camel really suffer many problems, many health issues. I usually say, I don't know if you have heard or not heard, I say that the camel is the bird. So you will not see the camel dirty. The other livestock you can see. The camel don't accept the dirt, the tying in one place. So this is like the very basic thing about the camels.
Thank you so much, Ms. Liqa, for your question, and thank you so much, Dr. Abdul Raziq. But before ending our session today, لو سمحتوا تكتبوا أسماءكم بالchat box، الاسم مع الإيميل، أوكي، عشان أبعث لكم الشهادات والاسم مشان توثيق الحضور على المنصة. We would like to ask from the attendee, can you please just محمد محسن بقلبك ما تحط لي اسمك مع الإيميل، الاسم مع الإيميل لو سمحتوا. Again, we would like to ask from the attendee, can you please just type down your name and email address in order to receive your certificate? And there's also another question, Professor, from just a moment. From Mustafa Ghandour, what's the difference between Mustafa Ghandour? What's the difference between camel fed on pasture and the other and concentrated?
Yes, that is very good question. The question of the day. So the question is, if there is difference in the milk quality, if the camel is browsing in nature or the camel is on stall fed. So there are yes, there is very big difference. Why? The protein will be the same because the proteins in the milk are engineered by the DNA of the camel, not by the feed. Whatever the camel eats, camel will design protein in the milk. The casein, the whey protein. But there are, like we say now, there is a lot of research. There are a lot of findings that there are phytochemicals. There are phytochemicals in the plants which have very positive impact on the health of the consumer and on the products of the consumer. So the camel milk will be entirely different when they are grazing in nature and they are taking, like I did research during my PhD that camel, in one day, camel took food from 32 different plant species. So you can imagine, the animal which is consuming more than 32 plants daily, and the other animal which is consume only alfalfa, ray grass, or road grass, or something maize, something like that. So there is difference. Yes, there is difference, but we cannot quantify the difference. The difference is quantitative or qualitative. I have been with the camels in nature. I took a lot of camel milk there. Believe me, it was different in taste. It was different in flavor. It was different in response of the body. But when you take the camel milk from a farm camel, which eat very narrow diversity of food, their milk is still, camel milk is camel milk. The protein is amazing, like lactoferrin and other. There is the same microorganism, same lactobacillus bacteria. But as a overall positive impact, the impact of the nature-based milk is more than the stall-fed camel. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Professor, for your answer. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending today's webinar with Professor Abdul Raziq Kakar. We have discussed a lot of things related to the importance of camels in sustaining the ecosystem. Again, thank you so much, Professor Abdul Raziq, for your awesome and informative and amazing presentation for today. The webinar was recorded and we will upload it into our YouTube channel. So if anyone would like to rewatch it, or you have missed it today, you can just rewatch it one more time in our YouTube channel. Professor Abdul Raziq, we will share the social media links of your organization in our WhatsApp group. So it's going to be a great opportunity for the others to get to know more about Camel for All.
Randa, there are people, they ask me if it will be available on YouTube, and please share the link with us. They said they are busy now, they will watch it later. Is it possible, or?
Yeah, it's possible, Professor. Maybe I will upload it maximum by tomorrow. So
Okay.
yeah, don't worry. I want to also mention حضورنا الكرام، شكرا جزيلا لحضوركم معنا اليوم. حكينا بكثير تفاصيل بما تخص عن أهمية الإبل في الحفاظ على التوازن البيئي. شكرا جزيلا لحضوركم معنا اليوم. نتمنى من الحضور إنه يلي ما كتب اسمه بالchat box بس تكتب الاسم والإيميل address تبعك علشان أعطيك أوثق الحضور، أعطيكم الشهادات. شكرا جزيلا، والله كان ما شاء الله اليوم حضور جدا رائع. فشكرا جزيلا لكم. Again, thank you everybody for attending today's webinar. It was amazing, your presence with us. And please, if you wish, if you want to receive your certificate, can you please just type down your email address in our chat box, so I will share it with you later on. So before ending, we will end the webinar within 2-3 minutes. Professor Abdul Raziq, would you like to add anything to our before closing today's webinar?
Thank you very much, and it was like very amazing opportunity for me, and we really, I mean, had very good feedback from the participants. That is like the beauty of the I mean the interest of it, shows the interest of the people, and that is the beauty of our work. Thanks to you all, and I will again ask you to please visit our website and to give your feedback, share your experience. We want to change or transform the information into knowledge and share with the forums like this everywhere in the world, because I can say that from 1st June up to today, maybe I have delivered more than 25 lectures, and we have series of lectures with FAO, with One Health. We have this year many conferences. So, I mean, if you have some information, please share with us on our website, give your response, give your feedback, share your opinion. So we will transform your information into knowledge, and we will share on all forums of the globe. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Abdul Raziq. Again, thank you for your awesome and informative presentation. حضورنا الكرام، شكرا جزيلا لحضوركم معنا. بصراحة نورتونا شرفتونا اليوم. بدي أطلب منكم إنه أنا إن شاء الله خلال دقيقتين بالكثير رح أسكر الويبينار. يلي ما يعني بس تكتبوا على السريع بالchat box الإيميل والاسم. وشكرا جزيلا لحضور الجميع. بس عبد الرحمن، please go ahead عبد الرحمن.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
هلا أنا حضرت المحاضرة يعني ما شاء الله، بس السؤال بخصوص تسجيل الحضور بالنسبة لمنصة نحن.
إن شاء الله. كيف الحال؟ إن شاء الله كل شيء أوكي. I was busy.
بخصوص التسجيل لمنصة نحن، كيف تحسبون الساعات؟ يعني هم لحاله بنضافوا؟
أنا بدي حضر بس له إنه حضر. تمام.
تمام.
يعطيكم العافية، شكرا جزيلا لكم. أنا دقيقة وبإذن الله رح أسكر. أوكي، شكرا جزيلا لجميع الحضور. اللي كتب فيه غادر، أهلا وسهلا فيكم.